I don't know what the number it is, but today I have a special guest, Alberto Marchetti,
Yes.
Alberto Manto, and Alberto Manto.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. You are involved with Manto still?
Yes.
And you are one of the partners of Half Sumo?
That's correct, yes.
Guys, Half Sumo is one of the coolest brands out there. He's outfitted in Half Sumo, so am I. So does it make us full sumo?
Full sumo, yes.
Well, full sumo. Two half. That's the math, right? Math doesn't lie. So, long story short, guys, Alberto and I go way back at Renzo's. So I've been saying, hey, why don't you come in and film? So, today is the day. Guys, start asking questions. You know the format. One of the things that I wanted to start with is kind of a position, body lock position. One of my students actually asked this yesterday, and I think it's a very good question. It's like, what happens if you kind of just get locked up and you can't do anything? You cannot move. So that's the topic I can address right now. But again, start asking questions and we'll try to provide the answers. So, guys, one of the things, and again, this happens a lot in butterfly guard. So we talked a lot about controlling the distance. I am not comfortable here, even though my clothes are. Yeah. Why am I not comfortable? Alberto, if he drives forward, I'm going to lay down and I'm done. Right? Here I feel comfortable. We talked about that reset, right? This is episodes going back, I don't know, last 3 months we spent a lot of time on this. I'm comfortable because if he drives forward, he's not going to flatten me out. There's too much distance. His arms are stretched out. I have the room, to put my foot on his hip. I have room to wrap his head. There's a lot of things I can do before he gets to flatten me out. He's stretched out. But let's go with, this is one of the very common mistakes, even black belts make this, is they start to grip fight and they start to get close. And now the guys, this is when Alberto penetrated the distance. The thing that I need to do right now is create space. But people feel, ooh, I got something good. But you can see I'm leaning back. My core is engaged heavily to keep me up in this position. So as Alberto drives down and body locks me. So now you basically cannot move. When I cannot move, what I do usually is I straighten out. And basically, rather than, I expose my back. Now, why am I doing that? Does this seem foolish? So, guys, sometimes you can literally have extremely limited movement. The guy is maybe pinching your legs with his legs, and you really cannot. So you hear, right? This is very common. A lot of times, go back, please.
Yes.
So from here, a lot of times when this happens, people do this. Yeah, that's not going to help you. Because he may keep his head and shoulders in that place, but he could just step over my legs and keep passing my guard. So when I find myself in this position, especially when I cannot move, what I do is I just, okay, all my defenses are this way. So if Alberto decides against common sense to go to my front, this is going to be an easy battle for me because all my defenses are here, all my framing, okay? So almost always the guy decides to go to the back. I know this is happening. As soon as he moves, I am squirming. I am moving. I will create space. And from that space, it's still a battle, but now at least I have a chance to put him back in guard. This is an extremely important concept. Again, it starts with your mistake that you did not control the distance. You need to, when you grip fighting from your guard, whether it's closed guard, whether it's butterfly guard, whether it's open guard, as you grip fighting, which is a very important aspect of jiu-jitsu, you cannot forget about your distance. People start to, like, when they start to get the grips, they start to feel like, okay, I'm making progress. The problem becomes, if that guy closes that gap, that progress needs to be scrapped. You need to reset. You need to go back to get that distance. Sometimes you can do it while keeping the grip, and sometimes you can't. So sometimes if we're grip fighting and and I start to get and Alberto starts to close the distance, I kept the grip and created the distance. Now I'm okay. Now I will make something happen. But a lot of people, they make the mistake that when they get those grips, they start to basically hold on and not really do anything, start to apply the pressure and start to do whatever grip they got. The problem is now you don't have the distance to make something happen. So when you get in a position, it's the same thing when I'm mounted. When I'm mounted with my arms like this, it's a very, very bad position. What I do is I start to turn. I start to turn basically, okay, when you're in trouble, movement is a good thing. Okay? When I'm about to, when I roll with people, you see this all the time. I may go fast to create the opportunities. Once I create the opportunities, I start to slow down. I want to keep everything tight. So if I'm in trouble, if I'm mounted, and I'm like, I see no way out, I'm going to expose my back. Guess what? If you're like this and you stay there, or you flop around, you're not going to get out. You're going to expend a lot of energy, and you're going to get caught. So when somebody mounts me where I start to expose my back. So my arms are up. Yeah. I'm going to do this. I know he has to move. Once he moves, now I create a space for me to move. Yeah, okay, there's a chance that he's going to catch you off it, that he's going to take you back. But again, movement, when you're in trouble, movement is your friend.
We had a few questions.
Okay, ask away, guys. You know the format.
First things first, a lot of good mornings, Elad, Ensberg, I'm Jay.
What's up, guys?
Ensberg had a question regarding managing that distance. How do you, I do not properly balance maintaining distance, getting a good connection on my partner, and going into moves as soon as I connect. Do you have any
Yes.
recommended drills for that distance?
Distance is a priority number one. Because, let's use an extreme example. So, I have the short arm bar, right? This is good. I can make something happen. Worst case scenario? Yeah. Worst case scenario? I get an omoplata. Yeah. And he rolls to escape. This is my worst case scenario. Okay? Let's use the same example. Same exact grip. So that's a good grip, right? I have no distance. He's jamming me up. It's worthless. Because right now, I'm going to try to push Alberto away. Do you think that's going to happen? Even Alberto doesn't think.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah. Go ahead, John. Fortunately, I have my trusty friend. It's like that little two shooter that's tiny that you could do the iron fist. But there's no way you're going to get that short arm bar because you're too jammed up, and the guy's going to pass you hard. So that's two where exactly the same grips, but I did not have the distance. So distance is priority number one. If you look at, this is a very well understood concept in MMA. Distance control.
Yes.
It is not a well understood concept in BJJ. If you look at sort of the guys that I think were like the GOATs in MMA, right?
GSP, Khabib.
Silva.
Yes, Anderson Silva.
So those guys, they've defended the title more than 10 times, I believe, each. And fought and usually when you're on top, everybody aims for your game. The top contenders, that's the game they're going to train for, especially once they get the shot. I believe one of the biggest factors in their sort of runs was distance control. For example, GSP, which my personal favorite, had fought wrestlers that were much more decorated. Well, he's not a decorated wrestler. He's a truly,
Karate background.
Yeah, karate background, good BJJ,
Yes.
good wrestling. But these guys were Division I national champions.
When he fought
yeah, they couldn't take him down, but he could take them down. How? He knows how to shoot from a distance. They don't. They need to close that distance. You know, usually wrestlers, they constantly, you know, this is the distance they drill from. This is the distance they kind of drill from. Well, in MMA, you're going to get killed. So you better learn how to shoot from here. In Jiu-Jitsu, that concept needs to be much more important than it is. And like I said, it's not well understood. I mean, it makes logical sense. But, you know, again, this is the biggest reason for my split guard uregatame thing. Basically, if Alberto's standing over me, and I get this. So there's one critical, this is the one. This is the critical grip. So if Alberto postures up and shoves my leg down, yeah, I have the distance to recover. But the guys that play this, yeah, I don't have anything. I don't control the distance. He does. Yeah, he starts to drive. Yeah. Oh, shit. So, you know, I actually said this before. I don't know when I started to think about the split guard or the uregatame, but I do know for a fact that I used to play a lot of clamp guard. And I know that GSP, you know, I would train with him not so often, but maybe once or twice a year. Every time I tried to play clamp guard, he's really good at shoving, you know, stepping over that leg and passing my guard. It was extremely frustrating to me. You know, he's got a good jiu-jitsu, but he's also very, very fast. You know, so I needed to stop that from happening. Again, it comes to distance control. So again, prioritize whatever you're doing. Distance control is number one. Grips, and then activate them. So again, without grips, you can't do anything. But distance is your defensive weapon. That is your number one defensive weapon. Everything starts with the distance. Then it comes to grips. At any point in time, you start to get your grips, but the distance gets penetrated. You need to reset and go back to controlling distance, and then again, get the grips. Sometimes you can keep the grips and recreate the distance, but sometimes you need to let go. Yes?
One last question.
Yeah. We're out of time almost.
Time is flying. TK Studios, what are you doing to open up someone who's playing very defensive on their knees, sitting back in your butterfly guard? I have difficulty when they keep their elbows tight and frame on my hips.
Ah, that's your specialty, though.
Yeah.
You
You have dialed
into
into the good program.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm not going to be, I cannot have my butt too close. Because this, if Alberto just literally used one finger on my chest, and now he can do whatever. So I'm going to, no, it's okay. I do this 1,000 times a week. Yeah. So just, yeah, keep this tight. Don't let me.
No, okay.
I pull. Wrestle up. We talked about this, right? It's the same principle. If they're giving you opening their head, you attack the head, whether it's a football grip, whether it's a guillotine. If the head is up but arms, you can stretch out the arms, attack the arms. If they stand up, you can go in the legs, or sometimes you can go, you know, into sort of the K-guard entries from here. You could do that. If they're opening nothing, so open nothing. Nothing is open. Store is fully. That's it. Nothing's open. Attack their balance. Wrestling up is one of the easiest ways to get on top of it. You'd be surprised how many guys I wrestle up onto.
Enrique said he likes the rash guards.
Ah.
All right.
All right, guys. We will see you on the app side in about 5 seconds. Ooh.